wave hi to everybody. Hi everybody, it's Toddler Tuesday. Wave hi, Campbell. I've got a real toddler for you. Yeah, you want to sing a Toddler Tuesday song? What song do you want to sing? You want to sing The Wheels on the Bus? Okay, ready? The wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round. The wheels on the bus go round and round, all through the town. Can you make a dog noise? Okay, can you make a cat noise? Good job. Can you make an elephant noise? Can you wave bye-bye to everybody? Yeah, now you and mommy can go outside and play, okay? Good job, Campbell. All right. And we're ready. So today's common sense lesson is simple, practical, and might save you some upset parents. So, when entering somebody's house, take off your shoes at the door. Unless the host means the person that owns the house, specifically says to keep your shoes on. Only then can you leave them on your feet. But assume that you need to take your shoes off, okay? Why? Why do we take our shoes off? Well, because shoes carry a lot of dirt and germs, and if you wear them inside someone's house, you could get their house messy. You don't always know what's on the bottom of your shoes, right? Okay, so it's courteous and polite. You don't want to go to somebody's house and make their house dirty. Second, maybe you at home, maybe your parents don't care if you have your shoes on in the house. I know I grew up in a house where it was, my parents didn't really care too much if we had shoes as long as they weren't dirty, as opposed to my wife who grew up in a house where you had to take your shoes off, all right? But even if your house you don't really have to, anytime you go somewhere else, assume that you have to, okay? Always, always, always take off your shoes. Unless you go to take off your shoes and they're like, oh no, you can keep your shoes on, don't worry about it, it's okay, all right? So, that's your words of wisdom. Be polite, take your shoes off if you're going over to somebody's house. All right, so let's move on here. I'm gonna need you to pause this video and get your Grammar Simple Solutions book. Okay. Today we are going to do some simple solutions. We're going to talk a little bit more about decimals, and then we're going to keep on our journey throughout World War II. So, number one, a pronoun renames an antecedent. So basically, like if I had Jasper, right? Jasper went to the store. Well, I could replace Jasper completely with he. That's the pronoun. So he replaces Jasper, the antecedent. All right. So Jasper, speaking up. Which word is the pronoun that I'm going to circle? Sherry cleaned the strawberries and put them in the salad. Sherry cleaned the strawberries and put them in the salad. So, can you find the pronoun? Let's make a quick list here of pronouns. He and her. You've got she and him. You've got they and them. Uh-oh, do you see it? See it, Jasper? You're like, yes, Mr. R, I already knew the pronoun was them. Cut me some slack here, man. It's early. So go ahead, circle them. Now, Jasper, which word earlier in the sentence got replaced by them? I'll give you two options. Is it Sherry or is it strawberries? Sherry cleaned the strawberries and put them in the salad. Good. It's the strawberries, right? You're not putting Sherry in the salad. That would be a weird, creepy salad. But you would put strawberries and then it'd be a yummy salad. Yum, yum, yum. Good job. So, number 2 goes to you, Mr. King. Pick all the prepositions in the sentence. You can use the help pages if you want. Evan, you've got the first one, all right? Ralph showed us around the school. Which word is a direction word? Ralph showed us around the school. Yeah, around, right? Around is a direction word. Good. Tells us where. Next, London. Our teacher read us a book about spice. Now, our teacher read us a book about space. So I'll give you a hint. It starts with an A. A boat. That's what the Canadians would say. It's about time, eh? Don't you know? It's about space. About is our direction word. Good job, London. And Sophers. I miss you guys. Sophie Spragle. We stayed awake until midnight. I hope not, Sophie. At the sleepover. Which is our direction word? We stayed awake until midnight at the sleepover. Where are we? We are at. That's our direction word. All right, so we stayed awake until midnight at the sleepover. Okay, so is there another one in that sentence? Yes, there is. It does not start with an A, though. We stayed awake until midnight at the sleepover. I'm going to look this up in my help pages. Okay, so let's do it. I'm thinking that the word until might be a preposition, but I'm not sure, so I'm going to go all the way back to the back of my book, and it's on the second to last page. All right, so you see on my screen, it says right in the middle, some common prepositions. And I look right over here, and I know it's backwards on your screen, but right here at the far right, the last column, I see right down the word until. So I just checked myself. Until tells us how long. It's a direction word. All right, prepositions are the hardest part of speech. So let's underline that as well. We stayed awake until midnight at the sleepover. So 2 prepositions in that phrase. Good work. All right, use a comma before a coordinating conjunction that connects 2 complete thoughts. Okay, let me translate that to you. If you have 2 sentences that you're connecting, you need a comma. Okay? So Chloe came to the sleepover blank, but she forgot her sleeping bag. Notice how I've got 2 sentences. Chloe came to the sleepover, and then I've got she forgot her sleeping bag. Too bad. Now, Chloe, you're going to have to sleep on the floor. I'm connecting them with this magical word right here, but. No giggling, but is in like a conjunction, not your derriere. Before I can connect them, because they're 2 complete sentences, I need a magical punctuation mark. That's right, Bobby. Stick it in there. The comma. Remember what commas do. I don't know if your first grade or second grade teachers taught you this, but commas tell you when you're reading to take a little breath. So Chloe came to the sleepover, but she forgot her sleeping bag. See how you need that little breath in there? All right, great work. Next, we can decorate the halls. Get my highlighter out. We can decorate the halls with boughs of holly. Wah, 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 wah. Just kidding. Or there's our conjunction, our connecting word. We can play in the gym. So I've got this word right here, this conjunction, or, and I've got 2 complete sentences. 1, 2. In order to connect them, I need what, Lucas? You betcha. I need a comma. Very good. All right. Patina. Underline future tense verbs. All right. You have to include the helping verb. Well, all future tense verbs, almost all of them, have this word in before will. I will go. I will smile. I will decorate my room. Future. All right. Future. So look at that, Patina. George will enter through the back door. Which 2 words am I underlining? Good work, girl. Will enter. All right. Cody. Speaking of, everyone, It is Cody's birthday! Cinco de Mayo! Woohoo! Happy birthday, Cody! Yay! Cody, I wish you an incredible birthday. I know it's slightly quarantine-ish, but I hope that you have a fun day, and I wish I could give you your birthday wax. Um, Cinco de Mayo, right? You've got an awesome birthday. It's one of my favorite days to celebrate, although we're not celebrating this year. But usually, every year that I've taught third grade, we've always had a taco eating contest on this day. So I'm sorry to say that we're not having that this year, but I hope that you eat some tacos in honor of Cinco de Mayo. So happy birthday, Cody! Happy Cinco de Mayo, everybody! Okay, back to our question, Cody. Just because it's your birthday doesn't mean you can't answer it. Uncle Mark will play golf again. What's my future tense verbs? Good work, birthday boy. Will play. Number 5. Insert the correct commas and quotation marks in this dialogue. Dialogue meaning a conversation. Remember, when characters talk, it's called dialogue. We always need quotations. Okay. Fishy, I can't wait to try the new playground equipment, cried Stella. Where do my quotes go, Fish? Good, they go around. I can't wait to try the new playground equipment, cried Stella. Okay, Fish, you're almost done. Where do I put my comma? Here are your options. After the quotation mark or before the quotation mark? Correct! Before the quotation mark. I can't wait to try the new playground, little breath, cried Stella. It goes before the quotes, but after the word equipment. In fact, what I should do is I should move this guy over just a wee bit. There you go. So it's easier to see. Excellent work, Fish. Doobie doobs. Doobie doobie doobs. Logan replied, my favorite will be the climbing wall. I know that's how you sounded, Doobie. The quotes go after that exclamation point and before. When does Logan start talking? Good. Before my. All right, dudes. Where do I put my comma? Logan replied, little breath. So the comma goes after the word replied. Very good. Logan replied, my favorite will be the climbing wall. Very good, Jacob. Whew. I apologize. It is allergy season for me. Okay. Number 6. Draw a line to match the expression. Okay, Emily. Sometimes you just have to go with the flow, man. Yo, bro, go with the flow. What do you think that means, Emily? Sometimes you just have to get married? Sometimes, no? What? That's crazy. How about sometimes you just have to worry less and take things as they come? Righteous, Emily. Very good. Okay. It was June, but the dog days of summer had already arrived. So it was June, but I need to get married? Or it was June, but the hot, sticky, and breezeless days had already arrived. Willow? Yes, very good. Hot and sticky. All right, hot and sticky like Sunday. Oh my gosh, it was so nice. I was sweating like crazy. Okay, and our last one. By process of elimination, Michael, you get the easy one. After Sissy and Steve had tied the knot, they moved next door to us. Tied the knot. To get married. That's what it means to get married, is to tie the knot. Okie dokies. Choose the word that means the same, Carson. This is not an emergency, so you don't need to call an ambulance. All right, Smalley. Not emergency. Does that mean non-direct, non-emergency, or non-profit? You see that word right there? Emergency. This prefix non means not. So the answer is non-emergency. Good work, Smalley. All right. Missed a ship. Congratulations, too, on your Junior Ranger badge. That was really cool. Folks, Wiley has been working on his Junior Ranger badges, and you can do it online. Just type that in to Google Junior Ranger badge, and you can find all the information. I did it the other day. I can't wait till Campbell's old enough. Wiley just unlocked his on Flight 93, you know, the flight that went down in Pennsylvania during September 11th. You can learn a lot about that. I'm not sure if you can do a virtual tour or not, Wiley. You would know better than me, but then you can take a test on what you learn and get your Junior Ranger badge. So they've got them for all kinds of different places across the country. Okay, so Wiley, which pronoun could I use for Kelly and Nicole? Kelly and Nicole put blank drawings on the table. Let me give you two options. Put them drawings on the table or put their drawings on the table. What do you think? Absolutely. There. And remember, there is spelled T-H-E-I-R. When it belongs to somebody, it's got an I, right? Because I belongs to me. Their drawings. Excellent. Okay, girls, which word means to find out? All the girls, tell me. Is it determine, to include, or to illustrate? To find out. Good work, ladies. It means to determine. So use the word determine in a sentence. Okay, my sentence, I was determined to make a coronavirus mask. That is not a true story. I don't have any desire to make one, but my wife has been trying. Oh, she cleaned up the table. I was going to say I could show you what she made, but I really wanted like Pittsburgh Pirates or something cool, but she ended up just making me a boring old Navy one. So at least it's Mercer colors. Okie dokie. Let's see. We've got the boys. Which word has a stronger meaning? We're going to need to put a star next to it. So here's my star. So is it this one? Dad thought I would need a raise, or Dad knew I would need a raise. Which one is stronger? To think something or to know something? Think or know? Boop, 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 boop. No. Very good, boys. Dad knew is stronger than Dad thought. Right? All right, good work, folks. We're done with grammar. Put it away. Yeehaw! Now, don't even bother getting a pencil and paper. I just want you to soak this in, all right? You're like a little sponge, and I just want you to soak it in. So quick review from yesterday. Decimals are fractions with a base 10 denominator. So decimals are always going to be tenths or hundredths or thousandths. All right, always, 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 always. Okay? Now, whoops, redo. Stop messing me up. Now, we are only in third grade going to talk about two spots, two place values. The first one we talked about yesterday, I'm underlining right now. See that 5? That 5, that's a decimal. 0.5 is actually not worth 5. It's worth 5 tenths, because that place value is called tenths with like a snake sound at the end. Tenths. So let's read this number together, all right? 1.5. One more time. 1.5. Now let's do it in word form. Let's replace the word point with and. You ready? 1 and 5 tenths. Let's say it again. Ready? 1 and 5 tenths. So this is worth 1 right here in black. And is what we call our decimal point. And this 5 is not worth 5. It's worth 5 tenths. That's why we say 1 and 5 tenths. Okay? Not sure what I mean? Well, look at this. What if I put another number in purple right here. You would say not 2, you would say 21, which is why whenever we read the 0.5, we don't say and 5, we say and 5/10, because that's what it's worth. You've got to include your place value. So 21 and 5/10. Okay, so let's take a look at 1.5, all right? Let's model this. Today's all about visualizing. 1 is a whole number. Right? Let's just say my yellow bar equals 1. That's one whole. Check it out. I can fit 10 of my cubes inside 1. That means these are all worth 1/10. Did you see that? So mine one whole is actually 10/10 if I wanted to call it that. So I've got one whole. Now, remember when we reading it, you said 1 and 5/10. So, oops, let me undo that. So guess what? This would be one whole, right? But I don't have one whole. I need to send this to the back super quick. I need to model 5/10. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1 and 5/10 looks like that. I've got 1 whole and 5 out of 10. 1 and 5/10. Let's practice again, okay? Boop, boop, boop. Okay. Let's see. Ugh, still doing it. I apologize. I need to do one thing super quick. Order. Okay. Now, let's erase my 0.5. And let's just use my favorite number, 7. So now we've got 1.7. What's my whole number going to look like? Yeah, it's just going to be one yellow bar, right? So I can actually get rid of that because you can now see this is one whole. But my 0.7 is going to look a little different. How many of these red cubes do I need to put into my fraction bar? Yeah, 7, right? If this is one whole, this is a whole. See, don't believe me? Look, we've got one right there. That's a one whole. I need the fraction of a whole because this number is a decimal. It is not worth 7 wholes. It's worth 7. Good, you said it. 7/10. Okay. So let's take our 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is the cheating way for me. And look at that. Now I've got one whole and 7/10. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Well, let's rewrite. Let's do a new one. Okay, one more. Let's just say I have 3.9. 3.9. Let's read it in word form. Ready, everybody? 3 and 9/10. One more time. Let's read it in word form. 3 and 9/10. 3 and 9/10. Well, just listening to it, how many holes do I have? I have 1, 2, 3. So let me clone. That's 2. One more time. Oh, one more time. Now I've got 3 holes. Do you see it? And 9/10. Well, look at my fraction on the right. I have 7/10. So I need how many more? 7. That would be 8. One more makes 9. So now I have 3.9 as my picture. 3.9. Not bad, huh? Well, let's just take a look here. This is what 3.9 looks like. And I'm going to delete that bar. So now this number 3.9 is very, very close to 4. Don't believe me? Well, watch. Let me just move these off for a second. That's 4, right? You'd all agree. Every kid in the class would agree that this right here, 1, 2, 3, 4 holes, correct? Whoops, undo. Well, 3.9 is not equal to 4 holes. It's equal to 3 and 9/10, so it's just shy of 4 holes. It's actually this much shy. See this little 1/10 right here? So if I added 1/10 more, watch what happens. Now my number becomes a little bit different because now I've got 4 full bars. So you can't, this doesn't change it to 3.10. No, it doesn't. It's just like anything else in math. Once you get past 9 plus 1, you end up having to regroup. And now this becomes a 0 and this becomes a 4. Okay, so you have to regroup that plus 1. Okay, I hope that makes sense here. Okay, so let me give you a practice, okay? And then we're gonna move on. So I'm gonna delete that, and I'm going to keep these, and I'm gonna delete this. Okay, now I want you to tell me what decimal, or not what decimal, but what number do I have? What number do I have looking at this picture? How many holes? Girls? 1, 2. So I've got 2 holes. So my whole number is 2, and then I've got a decimal, right? So I need a point. Now count them up. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 2.6. How could we read that differently? We could say it's 2 6/10. See how easy decimals are? 2.6. All right, one more. Let me clone. Delete. What's my number now? Count up your holes. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've got 4 in my ones, and then what's my decimal? Birthday boy. Good. 0.3. 4.3. Well done. 4.3. All right, last one. I want you to do this one all on your own, okay? Okay, let's do it. Let's see. I've got here's my picture. I'm going to give you 10 seconds to write down what number you think I have. All right, let's solve it. How many holes do I have? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's my whole number. And then I've got 2/10 left over. So my decimal is 2/10. 5 and 2/10 is 5.2. 5.2. Great job, everyone. Okay, let's move on to our last topic, World War II. Yesterday we talked about how Hitler, Adolf Hitler, the arguably the most evil man to ever live, how he took over Germany at a time when Germany was really weak. All right, they were struggling like a lot of countries, and Hitler gave them this idea that they were the best of any people and that they deserved to take over the world and enslave people that were not Germans. Okay, unworthy people, as we called them yesterday. And that's where we left off. So we're talking late 1930s. Late 1930s. So toward the end of the Great Depression. Hitler preached that the most unworthy people of all were this is a religion. Jesus was one of these. Yeah, the Jews. All right. So Jews are a ethnic group of people that descended from ancient Israel. Now, you probably heard of that if you go to church. Most of the students in the class I know are familiar with the story of Moses. And Moses led the Jews out of Egypt. So when Moses led the Jews out of Egypt, they ended up going to this place called the Promised Land, which we call Israel nowadays. And Israel is um, it's a Jewish country, and there are lots of Jews all across the world, especially in the United States. But Jews lived oftentimes in Europe, and there was a lot of Jews in Europe, especially the country of Poland, and Hitler thought they were garbage. He hated Jews so much. Hitler blamed the Jews for killing Jesus, and he wanted to eradicate. That's a word that means get rid of. And I'm not talking like he wanted to send them off to their own island. He literally wanted to kill them all. He wanted to torture them and kill them. Okay? He was an evil man. It didn't matter if you were the nicest Jew in the world. All right? You could literally be a Jewish doctor and have just saved Hitler during open heart surgery. As soon as Hitler would recover, he'd want you killed. Okay? That's how evil he was. He hated the Jews. And so over the course of the next 12 years, from 1933 to 1945, Hitler and the Nazis got rid of, exterminated, remember, roughly 6 million Jews, including men, women, and children, right? Including children. The Nazis would hunt down Jews, like imagine like you're going hunting, all right? You hunt animals, not people. The Nazis were hunting actual people, right? They would hunt down the Jews, they'd bring them back as slaves, and they'd make them work in these places called concentration camps. So they'd make them work, and they wouldn't feed them or anything. They would even stamp them with a number. They'd give them a tattoo on their arm, treated them like they were basically like cattle. And they would work them to death, making weapons, clothes, and other supplies for the Nazi army. And then, whenever they are too weak to work anymore, they would send them to these places called killing centers where they would be shot or gassed or hung, and then their bodies would be burned and thrown into pits. Okay? Terrible, 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 terrible time. And this is why whenever you hear people talk about Hitler and the Nazis, they get so upset. He wasn't Hitler and the Nazis weren't just like a typical war where you're trying to kill the other side. Okay, that somewhat makes sense, right? It's logical. In a war, you're fighting the other side, you're trying to kill the enemy, right? He was killing people for no reason other than the fact that he thought they were unworthy. He didn't like them. And this whole killing of Jews, all right, where he tried to kill all the Jews in the world, It has a name, and it's called the Holocaust. You might have heard that before. The Holocaust is uh, one of the saddest events in world history. All right, it's literally the killing of 6 million Jews. Um, and the craziest thing about the Holocaust, all right, even crazier almost than the evil that Hitler was doing to the Jews, is that nobody knew that he was doing this. There were concentration camps hidden in the forests of Germany and Poland, and nobody knew that they were there. When the Americans finally stumbled upon um, the concentration camps in late 1944, I believe, or maybe it was early 1945, it came as a complete shock. They had no idea. Isn't that crazy? Millions of people are being killed in like these little camps in the woods, and nobody knew about it until the very end of the war, whenever the Americans invaded Germany. So that's crazy to think that that many people can just disappear off the face of the earth without anybody knowing. Um, and boy, it is one, it just makes me sad thinking about it. I don't even have any ancestors that were in the Holocaust, but I do know that pretty much any modern day Jew has some kind of relative that suffered in the Holocaust. All right, well, on that really depressing, sad note, I'm going to end today's lesson. All right, there's a lot more to talk about for World War II. We're going to get to more of the fighting, the war aspect of it tomorrow. But uh, it's important to know that about the Holocaust, and you're at the age now where you're just able to start to learn about it. Okay, second grade, you were too young, but now you're third graders, almost fourth graders. Um, it's time to talk about some more serious things. Okay, and think about how that applies to you now, right? You might not like someone. Does that mean that you should want them to be dead? No, right? Especially not everyone that looks like that person. Okay? That's crazy, ludicrous. We can all understand why that's crazy. But sadly, almost all of Germany thought it was okay because somebody brainwashed them. And by somebody, I mean the most evil man, Hitler. So, anyway, I'm getting sad just thinking about the Holocaust. There's a great book, by the way, that I read. I think I was in fourth grade when I read it, but some of you might be able to read it on your own. Many of you would have to have mom or dad read it with you. But it's about a girl who I believe is your age exactly. She might be a year or two older than you. But her name is Anne Frank, and she wrote this book called The Diary of Anne Frank. She kept a diary. Anne Frank, was a Jew that was hiding in the attic of a factory, a room very, very tiny. And she had to live in that room um, basically with the most minimal amount of food and water and try her best to be as quiet as possible so that the Nazis who were working in the factories below her wouldn't know that she was there. And I'm not going to tell you anymore. I don't want to spoil anything, but she wrote this incredibly heart-wrenching diary about her life and what it was like to be a Jew at that time. So, um, yeah, I recommend reading that if you have time this summer. It's called The Diary of Anne Frank. Okay, I'm going to let you go. Feel free to engage your parents in conversation about World War II. Maybe bring up the Holocaust and see what they have to say. Your parents probably know a lot about it. And, it's a pretty sensitive subject, right? It makes us feel really sad, but it's okay to talk about that. It's okay to talk about things like that make you sad and things like the Holocaust that, changed history. So I recommend you talk about it with mom or dad. Um, and next time I see you, it'll be Wednesday, and don't forget to eat some tacos tonight. Happy Cinco de Mayo, and of course, happy birthday, Code Man. Peace out. Love you guys.